recognizing Michael TARWATER.
I wasn't this nervous the last time I came to talk to this group. I don't know why. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Phil. Thank you for that very kind introduction. First order of business, I'd like to introduce two additional guests of the club. First, my wife, Ann. Ann, if you would stand up. And the youngest of my three children, Michael TARWATER Jr. You know, this, one other thing I wanted to say, Jim Rogers' resume, my speech was written in very small print on the back of that. The good news is I have another copy. This won't take long. This is truly an honor for me to be recognized by Rotary in this fashion. It would be meaningful just in and of itself, but when you look back at the former recipients of this award, Tony and the others mentioned, and others who are just as recognizable in terms of their service to Charlotte, it blows me away. I hope that that I can have a fraction of the impact that some of these great leaders have had in our community. They're household names. They're icons. Everybody recognizes them when they hear them. You see their names on highways and freeways and corporate logos. So it is indeed an honor for me. If there's a common theme, I think, if you look at the list of recipients over time, looking backwards, I think the common theme might be visibility in the community. In my case, I have the very good fortune to lead an organization that is visible for a lot of different reasons. One distinction is that the people that work at CHS touch an extraordinary number of lives every day, often in a very personal way. And Phil alluded to that. I doubt there's anyone in the room who has not been treated or had a family member treated by one of our providers over the course of time. I doubt there's anyone here that has not personally visited a Tree of Life hospital for some reason, maybe just to visit a friend. If you can believe it, we have over 11 million patient encounters a year. 11 million times we interact with a patient in North and South Carolina. So there's a good chance that one of our clinical staff has not only helped, but perhaps even saved the lives of somebody you know. And maybe it was an elderly person in a situation where they had a stroke. Maybe it was a premature, maybe it was an otherwise seemingly healthy athlete pulled off the field of competition for some emergent reason. But we are visible in the community for many of those reasons. So when you serve that kind of role in the community and in the community's well-being, there's a lot of notice and attention that comes your way, a lot of visibility. Another distinction is that I'm blessed to work for an organization that has an extraordinary commitment, extraordinary, beyond anything that would be required by our tax-exempt status. An extraordinary commitment to community benefit. And people often say to me, well, that's really great. It starts at the top, and it does. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about our board. And we do have at least one board member here, maybe more. But Mac Everett, right up here up front, is first vice chair of the board of Caroline's healthcare system. And that's where that commitment to community benefit starts. I'm blessed to be able to work for men and women like that who, where that's important. It is very important. When it comes to supporting charitable financial campaigns or providing volunteer assistance to social agencies or civic groups and charitable causes, our people, our employees, my teammates, they just do a remarkable job. Volunteer service is absolutely a hallmark of our organization. And I know that some of you here today have probably interacted with some of our teammates as you do your service work in the community, or maybe you work for an organization that's benefited from some of what is going on in terms of community benefit out of Carolina's healthcare system. You know, I've always been a believer in a concept that's contained in the scripture, Luke chapter 12, verse 48. And you read different versions, you get different wording, and I'm not a linguist, but I decided to give you two versions today. First comes from the Old King James translation. Now that was finished in 1611. But it says, "For unto whomsoever much is given, of him much shall be required." Now, if there are any English majors in the room, knock yourself out trying to diagram that sentence. I'm not sure I could do that. The more modern version, New American Standard, published much more recently, especially on a relative basis, sounds a little bit more familiar to our ears today. But it says, "From everyone who has been given much, much will be required." In either case, I think the meaning is pretty clear. And I've tried my best to model that behavior. But modeling behavior is really a two-way street. It's a two-way street. And I take a lot of inspiration from the 35,000 plus teammates that I work with here just in the Charlotte region. They give me great inspiration, and they are great role models for me. They're remarkably committed to the work that they do in clinical settings and taking care of people day in and day out when a patient's well-being is at stake. But they also demonstrate remarkable compassion and spirit every day, both inside and outside the walls of our institution. Role models, all. So my closing reflection is really ends up back where I started with my opening thought, which is that I am very fortunate to be in a position to lead that kind of group. In accepting this award, I'm simply representing all of them and respectfully acknowledging that the role that they play in making this, the community that we happen to live in, a better community. People ask me sometimes, who or what is most inspiring to me, and the list is relatively short. First, I'm inspired by, blessed by, and grateful to my wife Anne. Next, to my children. I am blessed by them. I'm inspired by them. And finally, my grandchildren, now numbering at 5. Hopefully that will grow. No pressure, Michael. But I am inspired by my entire family. And I'm really inspired by my CHS family, the people that I work with every day. The team at Carolina's healthcare system and the difference they really make for all of us in this community. So on their behalf, and with a grateful heart, I say thank you. Thank you very much.